painting. We're getting new instruments donated. We're refreshing the space and turning it over so it's ready for our big summer season, which opens up on July 5th. So I just want to say a big shout out to all the volunteers who have helped over the past 2 weeks, and for the ones that are going to continue to help over the next week. We couldn't do it without you. We've got a lot of exciting things going on at the school. So if you haven't seen us in a while, come back and check it out.
All right. And we do have a Musician of the Month, which seems to have been a successful program that we started a little bit more than a year ago.
Yeah, absolutely. So actually the July, I believe the July month was like will be our year anniversary.
Oh, really? Oh, so we haven't even made it there yet.
Not yet. We're almost there. We're almost there. One more month. But I got to tell you, and I think I mentioned this last week too, is that, the alumni, the NCMS alumni are coming back now. They usually come and hang out over the summer, take some lessons, still stay involved when they're like home from college. And they're like, what is this? Why didn't I have the opportunity to be on the radio when I was, at the school? I said, okay, well, I think we can kind of work that out. So that's what we've got to kind of got in store for you this summer.
We could just relate the same thing to the many, many years ago when when I was turning 18 years old, and then they raised the drinking age to 21.
They did that for you. Is that what they did?
Some things don't work the way we want them to. Sometimes we miss the boat.
Yeah.
No, I would happen to be on the other side of that because my birthday was in September, so.
Oh, so it worked out for you, so that's all right.
It did work out for me. That's all that matters.
So all your friends born the year before you were just kind of like, too
Sorry,
bad, so sad.
Lost a lot of friends that year.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we have a Musician of the Month in the studio this morning, and congratulations on getting that. If it's an award or a privilege, Ashley Wright is in the studio. Good morning, Ashley.
Good morning.
Is this a ungodly time for you?
Yes, it is.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. It's fine.
All you musicians never see 7 o'clock in the morning.
Yep, no.
Only if we're still playing the gig from the night before.
Right? Yeah.
Those days are over, aren't they? Not here in Nashua, anyway. So you're from Wyndham?
I am.
Okay. And you play a clarinet.
I do.
And you've been playing it for 17 years.
Yes. We just counted the other day. That is accurate.
Really?
She had to count. She'd choose all her fingers.
I always, whenever someone asks me how long I've played clarinet, I start from 5th grade and I count up.
No, I still do, too. Do you still use your fingers, though?
Yeah, of course. What else would I use?
We know the area. Well, most people can do it. Some people can do it in the head. People from my era they just do this with their fingers. They're always using their fingers. You recently completed your second bachelor's degree in music.
Yes, that's correct.
Why? One wasn't good enough.
No. Well, here's the thing. My first bachelor's degree was not in music. So when I went back to school for music, everyone said, why don't you go for a master's? And I said, I'm not ready yet. So I got a second bachelor's.
Are you a Seminole?
Yes, I am. Go Noles.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
That's the second person I've met here that is. Florida State University.
Mm-hmm.
This young lady, Ashley. Is this the only instrument that you've played is the clarinet?
So this is the only instrument I've played at a college level. I've also played saxophone before. I actually played saxophone in the FSU Blues Ensemble, and I've sung during my time.
Were you in a Seminole band?
No, I wasn't.
Why
I actually
not?
wasn't, because it's so much time, and I went back specifically for a performance degree, and I just didn't have time.
I would imagine that doesn't seem right. I mean, that's a huge band, man.
I know, but
and they get prime time all the time.
I know. It's a huge time commitment. They practice every day for
they have to.
3 hours.
Look at the
crazy.
competition.
Yeah, I know.
Plus, they get an hour's worth of prime time in front of 60,000, 70,000 people all the time.
I know. It's crazy.
Not you, though.
Nope.
No. Okay.
Nope.
All right. Well, what are you going to do when you grow up? I mean, what do you want to do? I mean, with 2 degrees,
right?
Very proficient in clarinet. What do you aspire?
Well, I went back to school to get a degree in performance, and while I was there, I really found a passion for the entrepreneurship and business side of music. So that's really where I'm aiming right now.
And what would that encompass? Like,
well, we're lucky in that Ashley is our summer administrative assistant. So she came back and she applied for our summer position and she got it. And we're looking for other ways to be able to keep her involved at the school moving forward.
Okay, very good. Okay, well, you've sent me a couple clips.
I did.
Okay,
I think. Do you want to play first, though, or do you want to do the clips first?
It doesn't matter to me.
Well, 17 years, you play anywhere. Doesn't matter.
Live
or not, doesn't matter.
I'm basically asleep right now. I'm not going to remember any of this.
I have the recording. You will.
Great.
Anyway, what are the clips? What is?
Yeah. So Ashley wrote did some composing at school. She was telling me about that. So do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. So I actually started my composition career at school. I'd never composed before, but I took one class and I loved it, and I tried to fit it in whenever I could, even though I wasn't a composition major, and I took a film scoring class. And I wrote a film score. The FSU has a film school that the music school works with, and they give us these 10 to 15-minute films. And the big final project for that class is to write a film score, and the top however many people in the class, grade-wise, get to have their film score recorded by the school orchestra, which is what I was lucky enough to do, and it was really incredible experience.
Sure it was, yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you need to do when you work like something? You have to watch that movie over and over and again until you can get a feel for it, or how did you go about doing that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they talk a lot about the process of film scoring in that class, and my favorite thing to do was, you watch it through a couple of times, you get some ideas of what you want. I definitely watched a lot of other things that had film scores that I knew would be similar to, not film scores, but I chose a comedy, a children's, like the children were the main characters of the movie, so I watched a lot of cartoons, and I drew a lot of inspiration from that, and then, you sort of sketch it out, and then you just flesh it out to the full orchestration.
Wow, it's a art form that you hear and not see, but what goes on up in the brain to create that is intense.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of work.
Oh,
I know.
yeah, sure.
I know every
different
line.
work, but yes,
every line of that movie. I know the exact timing of it. Yeah.
It gets you out of you. It gets you out into a world of creativity that you probably have never practiced before.
It was so fun. It was
you have to really
fun.
stretch. So we've got a couple of clips. Are they clips from this score?
Yeah, they're clips from the score.
And what was the name of the film? Cootie
Contagion.
Okay. I got a 40-second clip here.
Okay.
All right, let's
go
play
for
it.
it.
So she composed this.
Mm-hmm. What are you doing? What was that for? Connor Nelson, MD. Come with
I can't see it, but
me. You need to be careful. It's like you're begging to get infected. What's going on here? What's this about? Cooties. Ew. Exactly. You're crazy. Cooties aren't
geez,
real.
you think you'd be watching or listening to a
Cooties are
cartoon
tiny
background?
bacteria that live within girls. Treated as a bioweapon, it broke out of labs. I don't see how.
Did you get an award for this?
The award was getting it recorded.
I mean, that's a really big deal.
That is amazing.
Yeah, that's really a big deal.
Seeing you'll be here locally, you're going to have to. My show is like a movie.
Yeah.
In the morning.
You need some film scores for it?
We need a score.
Okay. All right.
All right, so
There's
get your clarinet.
Okay.
And we want to hear you play a little bit.
Okay,
That's
sure.
a whole different world, that whole thing, man. And there is big money in that if you can make it, if you can get one. Huge.
It's, I was just going to say, the business is crazy, though, film scoring. You have to,
a lot of competition.
Yeah.
And also trying not to overpower the characters or whatever they're trying to, that comes with the mix first and foremost. I know that from being in the radio, but the attention of it.
Yeah.
Like one of the greatest, what are your favorite scores for movies? I know you must have a couple.
I mean, I'm a huge sucker for anything Disney. All the Pixar movies, I think, have phenomenal scores. Yeah, I mean, the reason I chose, we had several movies to choose from for the final, and I chose the child cartoony one because I love that. I love that. I'm all about comedy and
Have you heard the soundtrack to the movie The Last of the Mohegans?
Yes.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The guy, Daniel Day-Lewis, something like that there.
Yeah, and I think he just retired from acting.
He's all done.
That's crazy.
He's another nut. He just, who knows? He snapped. Nonetheless, that score is amazing with that movie right there. So I really wish you, if you want to pursue that, good luck, have fun. It'll be a great journey, right? All right, so you're going to play the clarinet for us. Now, are you playing something that we might know?
Well, I'll get her set
Locomotive
up.
breath or something? No?
So she's playing actually a Paris Conservatory contest piece today. It's by Rabot. It's a solo de concord. It's the Allegro
What's that
section.
popsicle stick?
So that's called a reed.
Oh.
So she's getting her reed ready.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm filling some time while she gets that, because part of the idea that clarinets are part of the woodwind family. Oh. So the two main components of that, in order to get that to work, are wood and wind.
So the clarinet's made out of wood, or is it plastic?
No. Well, the clarinet
So how can it be woodwind if it's plastic?
Well, the reed itself is wood, and then you have to get that really wet so that when you actually blow into it...
I dip it in water. Forget about that.
the position of the reed against the mouthpiece of the instrument will create certain types of friction, and that's how you get your
Everybody's
sound.
jealous of her in the big bands because that's the lightest instrument you're walking around with right there.
That's why I chose it.
Yeah, that and the flute. I
Oh, I'm
guess,
sure that's
right?
what you thought 17 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me the lightest instrument I can carry.
She did tell me she tried the sousaphone once. So I guess you're probably glad that she didn't stick with that one.
Ashley Wright is the musician of the Multinational Community Music School. We put the spotlight on them the last Friday of each month. Their instrument is clarinet. She's been playing it for 17 years. She's recently completed her second bachelor's degree in music from the Florida State University. Go Seminoles. Okay, lady, we're going to rock and roll here.
All right.
All right. Let's see what we should got live in the studio. Good. She makes it look too easy, though.
She does. Well,
Yeah.
that's what some college practicing will do for you. That's for
Oh,
sure.
no, that's a lot. How often do you practice, Ashley? Do you know?
So that number has changed many times. When I was in school, I tried to do about 3 to 4 hours a day.
God bless.
And that
you,
is
man.
pretty typical at the college level. Sometimes more, for sure. Especially pianists sometimes practice anywhere between 6 and 8 hours a day. It just really depends on what the individual's goals are.
Yeah.
And
So-
your instrument.
And your instrument, that's true. So singers, for example, they really, especially at the college level, they usually don't know how to use their instrument well enough to be able to practice longer than maybe 2 hours at a clip. So they'll have to spread it out. So they'll have to do like an hour and a half here, an hour and a half here. But as they get more developed, they can practice
Do you ever miss
for
a day?
longer.
Feel like taking a day off?
I did actually, and actually at FSU they're okay with you taking a day off because it helps you rest. And I play with lots of tension, so a day off a week helps me chill out a little bit. You know?
You also sing barbershop.
Yeah, I do. So that was a brand new development when I moved to Florida. I've always loved singing, but I've never done it like really seriously. So I was looking for just a fun group to be in. And I saw this sign. I was literally like, how can I sing in Florida? And then the sign appeared in front of me one day. It was beautiful. And it said, come sing barbershop with us. And I was like, okay, I'll try this out. And I ended up loving it, loving the people in it. And then the next year I signed on as executive director of the group.
Oh, how many people are in it in the barbershop?
It's very new. It started the year it
because
started the
it-
same year as me. And the first year it was about 10 to 15 people. And then the second year it went a little bit further down to about 6 people, and we're still trying to ramp the group up, and right now we're just focused on keeping it running.
Yeah, I think, and it doesn't say barbershop quartet. So
Right. It's
it's just barbershop.
It's a barbershop quartet choir, which means there are still 4 parts, but as many people can
And
join.
what part do you sing?
I was singing lead most of the time.
What is that? Soprano? Soprano
yeah,
2?
so
What?
so barbershop parts are a little funky, especially because barbershop is based on male singing. So the females still take on the male singing part names. So there's bass, baritone, lead, and tenor.
Oh,
and
okay.
that's one of the ways barbershop is kind of weird. The lead part, the melody isn't on top; it's right in the middle.
I think most people are learning today that women do sing in barbershop quartets. Most of us didn't think that there was. I mean,
Yeah, it's still. It's much newer than male barbershop, but there are like.
are you all
international-
female or is it male and female?
Yep, it's all female.
Very interesting.
And there's an all-female group right on here in the Nashville area called their Voices from Harmony, and they're kind of a counterpart of the Granite States.
Oh, we got to get them in here.
So yeah, they're a huge group, but
4 pots,
absolutely.
4 mics, we can pull that off.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's
Interesting.
great.
Okay, well, we're running against the clock. Would you like me to play, or do you want me to play the cootie clip?
I think one cootie clip's good. You want to do this one?
Yeah. I was gonna say, yeah.
We're gonna get her. She's gonna play one more time.
Okay.
Because it's kind of from the same score.
Ashley Wright from Wyndham here.
So she's gonna get set up. She's playing a Cavallini tune. It's an adagio and tarantella introduction. So
you might as well be speaking.
So what that means is it's two parts. One part's like a little slow, and a tarantella is an Italian dance. It actually means tarantula in Italian.
Bodice dance when this thing. Get on.
So those usually have a very distinctive rhythmic sound overall.
Okay. All right, Ashley. Go ahead. Wow. Oh, my. That was pleasant to the ears.
Thank you.
Wonderful. It's a pleasure to meet you. You are very proficient at what you do. I wish you the best success in the future, and I think you will. And I think that this whole score stuff here is very interesting.
And if you think that it's something that you might want to try, we do have a composing camp for kids this summer. It's called Young Composers, and it's a great opportunity for kids 9 to 13 to just try the art of composing. Like a lot of people think, oh, a composer, I couldn't touch that. I don't have the skills for that. Well, you got to start somewhere, and you got to start with ideas. That's really what you need. You need ideas, creativity, and a drive to be involved in music. So if you're interested in that, give us a ring.
And we also have composing lessons for adults.
We do. Absolutely.
Boy, it's a wonderful art, and you're very good at it. It's wonderful to the ears. We wish you the best. You're going to be hanging around, or you got any more degrees in your future?
No more degrees in my near
You
future.
think it might be difficult for you to probably even try to attempt this score stuff here in this state? You might have to move to California or New York or something.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not planning on being a film composer. I did it for fun.
Oh.
If anybody needs something in the local area, I'm more than happy to compose for them. But that is not, that is something you have to move to California
for sure.
to do.
Got to be in it to win it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, well, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming in this morning.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Lindsay.
Thank you, George. We're excited to be back again next month.
We'll take a quick break, come right back for the public health on the WSMN 15.
I'm Omar Reese with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. The Raiders agreed on